Hello, friends, and welcome to a pick a card message of what it is that you need to hear right here and right now. A message from the angels, if you will. So what I've done, or how I'm going to do this particular message, is I have used this deck, if I can show you, the Angels Among Us, and I have shuffled and drawn 3 angels at random, which are going to be the angels that are going to help you decide on the message that you need to watch, to listen, to hear right here and right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the cards, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight from the guidebook around these particular angels. And I want you to really listen, and I don't want you to just listen with your ears. I want you to listen with your heart and with your soul. Which of these angels talks to you at the moment? Because they're so different. They really are. They're amazing. So I want you to allow yourself to be guided by the angels to pick an angel, and then you can use the little timestamp below to jump straight ahead to your message. And I'm going to use a combination of all sorts of stuff to give you a message that you need to hear right here and right now. I will say to you that it doesn't matter when you watch this video. It doesn't matter if you watch it on the day that it is released. It doesn't matter if you watch it a year later. Whenever it is you watch it, the message that you receive is the message that you need to hear right here and right now. If you enjoy this kind of content, if you enjoy what you see here, please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And if this particular video just really appeals to you, and if you got a really good message, please consider giving the video a thumbs up as well. Doing little things like that, subscribing and hitting the thumbs up notification, basically just helps me to grow as a channel content creator, and it just helps the algorithm to push the video out so that more people can get the message that they need to hear from the angels. So let's go straight into it, and let me take you through the angels that I have chosen. So we're going to call the first one angel number 1. And angel number 1 we have is Saint Brigid. So Saint Brigid, I mean, she is just so sassy. Isn't she just gorgeous? I love her to bits. I don't want to say she's my favorite, but she's my favorite out of the 3 that I've drawn here today because she's sassy. Look at the key words that she stands for, that she represents. Passion. I mean, who doesn't need a little bit more oomph and passion and gusto in their lives? So she's passion, she's fire, and she is also strength. So if those keywords appeal to you, then maybe she's the one who has the message for you. But just to read what the guidebook says for Saint Brigid. So Saint Brigid, or Goddess Brigid as she is otherwise known, is recognized as a Catholic saint and a Celtic pagan goddess who was adopted by the Christian faith in Ireland around 500 CE. Her feast day is the 1st of February, and the same day of the pagan celebration of Imbolc in the Northern Hemisphere. So in both traditions, she is aligned to the season of spring and to the energies of new growth, of passion, and of fire. In her goddess form, she is connected to the sun, she's connected to fire, and she's connected to fertility, to healing, and to poetry. Saint Brigid is the patron saint of babies, of blacksmiths and metal workers, of fugitives, of midwives, of printing presses, sailors, scholars, poets, and travelers. So you need to call on Saint Brigid whenever you feel the need to relight that inner fire and to help you to get going again. So if that's who you are, and if that appeals to you, if that talks to you, then I definitely think Saint Brigid is the angel that you need to listen to the message that she has for you today by clicking. So she will be reading number 1 in the timestamp down below. Right, so let's take her off and let's have a look at our next one. I want to just get it in our guidebook here before I get too involved. Right, so our next angel that you have as a choice today is Goddess Quan Yin. So Goddess Quan Yin, she is just so gentle. She is just so loving. Just her stance and the way that she carries herself in this particular image is just so nurturing, so calming, and so gentle. Her keywords, as you can see on the card, we've got compassion, we've got kindness, and we have got divine mercy. I love that, divine mercy. So is she the one that's talking to you? Is her energy, her vibe talking to you? Let's see what she's all about. So Quan Yin is the Buddhist Bodhisattva of compassion. She originates from the East Asia, and she has been adopted by many spiritual seekers and belief systems. She is known as the Mother Mary of the East. She is an aspect of the Divine Mother, and she can be called upon whenever you require or whenever you desire motherly love, unconditional love, compassion, and kindness. It is said that after reaching enlightenment or on hearing the cries of humanity, instead of stepping through the gates of heaven, she turned back and decided to stay behind and to help those in need. So she is ready and she is waiting to answer your call. So is that what you need? Do you feel like you just need a hug from somebody who cares or from somebody who loves you unconditionally? Maybe this is the message that you need to hear right now. Maybe Goddess Quan Yin has the message that you need. So she is reading number 2, and you will see that in the timestamps below. Now let's move on to our third angel that you have to choose from today. So our third angel is the fabulous Archangel Jeremiel. Isn't he just amazing? So he is card number 11. So his keywords that you can see on the cards we have is dreams, we have visions, and we have reflections. So Archangel Jeremiel's name means the mercy of God. And he is the angel who assists with life reviews at the end of our lives here on earth. But you don't have to wait until it's all over. You can start reviewing, reflecting, and most importantly, making changes right here and right now. Archangel Jeremiel can help you to see the bigger picture, to see potential features and possible timelines. And he can guide you towards the choices and the paths that are most in alignment with your best and highest good and your divine highest destiny. So, Archangel Jeremiel is the angel of dreams, visions, clairvoyance, and new beginnings. So, do you feel like that's where you are? Do you feel like you're ready to make a change, to do something differently, to step outside of your comfort zone? Are you ready to leave the past behind and move forward with confidence? If so, maybe he's the message that you need to listen to today. So, friends, I'm now going to get into the messages, the individual messages from each of the angels. I do hope to see you there, and I do hope that you enjoy your message. So you've got Angel 1, Angel 2, and Angel 3 down below. So you can listen to all three, of course. You know, if you can't decide, if you're pulled between one or two of the angels, by all means, go ahead and listen to all three, because I can promise you they're going to be very different messages, very different guidance that's going to come through from each of them. But I do hope whatever it is that comes through for you, that it is helpful, that it is inspiring, and that it helps you to make the changes that need to be made in your life right now. So welcome to those of you who chose Saint Brigid as the angel that has a message that you need to hear right here and right now. And as I said to you in the introduction, she's quite sassy, isn't she? Like, I think she's just absolutely fabulous. How she just stands so confidently in her own skin, in herself, and she doesn't worry about anybody else. She doesn't worry about, you know, what other people are thinking of her or what other people are, you know, expecting of her. She's just so confident and so comfortable just to be herself. And I think this is something that we all struggle with, isn't it? I definitely think this is something that, you know, as much as we strive to be that person and as much as we strive to be confident in ourselves, I definitely think it is something that we do struggle with. So she is going to give us, I'm sure, a very interesting pep talk. It feels to me like it's going to be a very good pep talk as to, you know, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing right? How do we fix it? How do we move forward from here? And yeah, so I'm going to just allow her to speak. I have 3 different oracle cards on the table here in front of me. I'm not using any tarot today. I just felt drawn to using oracle decks, and I've chosen 3 very different oracle decks. So we've got obviously this card, which is going to stay here on screen the whole time. But let's just see from Saint Brigid What is her main message for us today? What is the one thing that she wants to acknowledge that you are going through right now in your life? So what is the one thing that she wants to talk about? What is the one thing that she feels is relevant for you to hear about? What is the message that she wants to bring forward for you today? And let's put it there. There we go. It is the card of manifest. It is the card of manifest. Are you struggling to manifest whatever it is that you need in your life? Are you finding things a little bit tight, a little bit difficult? Are you finding that there isn't flow in your life at the moment? Is this something that you are truly struggling with? Because that manifest card, and what's interesting is to see the yellow, because the yellow is our solar plexus. Where does our solar plexus sit? Just above your navel, just above your belly button. And your solar plexus is where we hold our energy. It's where we hold our fears. It's where we hold our insecurities. It's where we hold our power. And again, she's sassy. She's full of power. Okay? She is full of power. She's not afraid of anything. But we are. I've noticed a lot in my readings that I do for clients and things like that. So many people are nervous, anxious, apprehensive, worried, scared. So we're not taking the steps forward that we should be. We're not confident to move forward in our life, in our journeys, in our experiences. We all tend to be holding back a little bit. And I think this is what this manifest is, because this manifest is saying to us, if you're doing everything with a level of anxiety attached to it, you generally tend to manifest whatever it is you're thinking, whatever it is you're feeling, whatever it is that's going on in your life. That is what you draw to yourself. That is what you manifest. So if you don't want to draw more of that, those problems, those challenges, those reasons to be anxious and all of that, you need to step into your power. You need to be like her. You need to be passionate. You need to be enthusiastic. You need to be excited about everything that's going on in your life. It's the lack of passion, fire, strength. It's the lack of those qualities that are holding you in a space of lack. It's those emotions that we are dealing with, the fear and the stress and the anxiety, that are holding us in those spaces. So Saint Brigid is saying to you, you have the power to turn your situation around. You have the power to switch it up. You have the power to draw in and attract whatever it is that you want, need, and desire in your life. But you have to recognize the power that you have to draw in and to manifest what it is that you want. So if your attention and your focus is on the stresses, the lacks, the challenges, the problems, that is what you're manifesting. But if you can turn it around, and if you can become a little bit more mindful around your thoughts, around your enthusiasms, around your passions and your desires, what are you talking about the most? Are you talking about the lack of money? Are you talking about the lack of good health? Are you talking about all the problems and the challenges? So, when we have bad days, it's the days when you wake up in the morning and you stump your toe, you bump your head in the bathroom, the hot water doesn't come out the shower, and when you get to work, all you're doing is telling everybody, "Oh my gosh, I am having a bad day." You're putting it into present tense, and that is what it is that you end up manifesting for yourself, all of these challenges. So St. Bridget is saying to us, we need to become mindful, we need to become conscious, we need to become very much aware of where it is that we're putting our energy, where it is that we're putting our attention, because we are our own worst enemies at the moment, and we are manifesting all the wrong things, all the things that we don't want. So let's see, how do we navigate through? Now that we understand her message, now that we understand what St. Bridget wants to highlight for us in our lives, how do we navigate this? How do we move through this? All right. So what is the advice that she has on how to approach life situations and circumstances differently so that we can figure it out? I love this. I love this. First of all, how beautiful is this card? And see the little message down the bottom here. Let this be your sign. So let this be the sign that it's time for you to switch things up. It's time for you to embrace passion and enthusiasm, excitement, and it's time for you to do the things that are necessary. If again we look at this card, can you see the staircase? Can you see the staircase? The staircase is there. It's leading somewhere. It's leading to somewhere beautiful and magical. You, in your life right now, have a staircase right in front of you. But you have to climb the steps. You have to put one foot in front of the other. You have to do the work. So let this be your sign. Saint Brigid, me, and Spirit are all telling you that you can change your circumstance, that you can turn this around, but you have to take the steps that are necessary in order to turn things around. Because if you don't step towards where you need to go, where you want to go, with passion, with enthusiasm, with gusto, you're never going to get there. Because then every time you hit one of these little obstacles along the way, you're going to go and stop and sit in that space, and you're never going to get to your destination. So Saint Bridget is telling you, now is the time. Take this as your message. Now is the time to actually start moving with confidence, with passion, with courage, with conviction, with all of those wonderfully fabulous words. It's time for you to start moving towards the destiny that the universe has in store for you. It's not going to just miraculously, you're not just going to wake up one morning and bam, it's there. It's just like, to use an example of health and well-being, fitness. Let's use fitness as an example. If you decide that you want to run a marathon, you don't just make the decision today, go to sleep and put it out to the universe. Let's go back to this manifestation card. Put it out to the universe that I want to run a marathon, and tomorrow morning wake up and suddenly your body is fit and healthy and ready to run a marathon. No, it is about the steps. It is about taking those steps one step at a time, knowing that each step brings you closer to where you want to be, to what you deserve, to where you want to go in your life. It's not going to happen automatically. You have to put the effort in. You have to do the work. It's just unfortunate. I mean, wouldn't it be fabulous if we could all just, set an intention, go to sleep and wake up in the morning and bam, we're fit and healthy enough to run a marathon? Wouldn't that just be absolutely wonderful? Of course it would. But the reality of the situation is we've been placed on this earth plane, and this is what St. Bridget is saying to us. We've been placed on this earth plane to learn, to do, to grow. And the only way that you're going to do that is by doing the things that need to be done, by going through the motions. And yes, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't quite materialize in the way that we had hoped, even though we've done all the work. So what do we take from that lesson? Well, we take that it was the wrong thing and that we were moving in the wrong direction. So the universe put obstacles in our path to stop us from going where we shouldn't be going, to help us to realign. And again, let this be your sign that it's time to move in a different direction. Let this be your sign that it's time for you to climb a different, I'm going to call it a different set of steps, to move in a different direction. But you've got to do it with passion. You've got to do it with enthusiasm. All right. So if we do this, if we make the changes that we need to make, if we make the changes that St. Bridget wants us to make, where's it going to lead us? What can we look forward to? What lies ahead for you right here and right now? Okay, let's grab our last card. Oh, I love this. Look at that. Isn't that just fabulous? Balance. Where are you going to go? Where is this going to lead you? Where are you going to end up? Living a life of pure and utter balance. And isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that the thing that matters the most? Is having and finding that balance that is so lacking and missing in our lives at the moment. You've come here, you've chosen her because she depicts that which you want for yourself. You wish that you were a little bit sassy. You wish that you had the passion and the courage and the conviction to do what you needed to do, to live the life that you deserve, and to move in the direction that you need to move in. That's what you want for yourself more than anything. But what you're lacking is courage and confidence. Okay? The willpower, the courage and the confidence is what you are lacking. And this is why you tend to beat yourself up. And this is why you tend to be so hard on yourself. But this is your sign. This is your sign that it is time to make the changes. It is time to move in a different direction. And honestly, you may have to use some, or let me go in the opposite direction. You may need to use some kind of a balancing stick to help you to balance. But you know what? If you use the tools that are available to you, you're going to find this tightrope so easy to walk. Yes, you may struggle a little bit. Yes, you may catch a bit of a speed wobble at some point, but Nothing's going to stop you. If you are committed, dedicated, a little bit sassy, you'll make it. You'll make it. So I hope I've revved you up. I hope St. Brigid has just given you the courage and the motivation that you need to start this journey. It's an important one. It's a fabulous one. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. But you have to climb the steps. You have to do the work that is necessary. Because if you don't move in that direction, there is nothing more that we can do for you. You have to take those steps. You have to move in the direction of your heart, your soul, your purpose. Let St. Brigid help you. Friends, I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings. I do hope that this message has inspired you, motivated you, and helped you to climb out of your comfort zone and to live the life that you deserve. Sending love and blessings. Take care. So hello and welcome to those of you who have chosen Goddess Quan Yin as the angel who has a message of inspiration, a message of love, a message of compassion for you today. So if we look at her keywords again, compassion, I mean, I just love that. Kindness. And let's be honest, our world is not very kind at the moment, is it? Life is not very kind at the moment. People are not very kind at the moment. I'm noticing more and more less compassion in this world. You know, we have such expectations of other people have such expectations of us, and it all gets a little bit overwhelming. I also love that her keyword over here is divine mercy. I love that. But what is divine mercy? Divine mercy is sometimes realizing that some people need to struggle, that some people need to endure the hardships, because it's in the enduring the hardships that they learn the lessons. And sometimes it's about recognizing that sometimes a person has to bump their head in order to grow, in order to learn, in order to develop. So Goddess Kuan Yin, as much as she is all about compassion and kindness, she also is not going to prevent you from learning the lessons that you need to learn. So let's have a look and see. What is her message for us today? What is her message for you today? What is it that she needs you to know? In what way does she want to offer you kindness and compassion? In what way is she considering your needs, wants, desires? And in what way is she trying to assist you to be better, to be happier, to be more fulfilled, and to live the life that you truly, truly, truly deserve? So let's have a look. Goddess Kuan Yin, what is the message? What is the inspiration and guidance that you have for everybody watching right here and right now? Look at this. Isn't this just beautiful? Let's put it into focus. There we go. Balance. See the keyword down the bottom here, balance. Isn't that just fabulous? So what is she saying to you? She's saying to you that this is the thing that is most important for you right now. This is the thing that's probably lacking in your life at the moment, is this balance. I love the fact that this particular deck of cards has chosen to use a bee as the symbol for balance. Most people, I'm not one of them, but most people are petrified of bees. Most people are allergic to bees. So they're even more afraid of bees. But what do bees do for us in the bigger scheme of things? Bees are so critically important in the survival of you and I, of making sure that we have fruit, making sure that we have everything that we need. So without the bees, we would suffer so much. So as much as we are afraid of this little character, because this little character can give us such pain, this little character, and this is divine mercy, isn't it? You see, this is it. It's divine mercy, because this little character, as much as this bee can cause so much pain and suffering, and can cause, you know, if you've ever had a bee sting, you will know how immensely painful it is. I have had the displeasure of being stung by a bee. Thankfully, I'm not allergic, but it's incredibly, incredibly painful. But I will also say to you that the pain that the bee sting brings is just for a short period of time. It's not stretched out unless, of course, you're allergic, in which case it's a whole different story. But Goddess Kuan Yin is saying to us that sometimes the pain, sometimes the suffering, sometimes going through those experiences is what ultimately brings the balance that we are all craving and that we are all needing. So that's the B aspect. But let's talk about the balance aspect. Some of us are so desperate for success and happiness Some of us are so desperate to earn money. Some of us are so desperate to be good people that we become almost like we have tunnel vision, and we almost become obsessed with working harder, doing more, all of these kind of things. And what that does is it tips our scales completely and utterly out of balance, so that we never have happiness, we never find joy, we have no compassion, and we have no kindness for ourselves or for anybody in our lives. And Goddess Quan Yin is saying to us, it's important that we recognize the importance, the relevance, and the significance of finding, having, and holding on to balance in our lives. Because if we lose the bees, we lose the sweetness, we lose the honey, we lose all the things that are good in life. So we have to make sure that our focus is correct, that we are not pushing ourselves too hard, that we are not pushing anybody in our lives too hard. We need to make sure that we are maintaining balance at all times to ensure that we find the answers, the sweetness that life has to offer. So I think that's an important one. So I want you to ask yourself, to think about it, to look at your own life and say, how much balance do you have in life at the moment? And I'm not just talking about money, okay? Yes, money is important, but let's talk about time with family. Let's talk about time with friends. Let's talk about time outside. How much balance do you have? Are you the kind of person who, I suppose, like most of us, spends all your time sitting in front of a screen, whether it be a computer at work, whether it be your cell phone on social media, whether it be the TV, Netflix, whatever it is in the evenings? We spend so much time in front of that screen. How much time are we spending doing other things? And is there balance in your life? Is there sweetness in your life? If there is no sweetness, it's because there is no balance. If you want to attract compassion, kindness, divine mercy, you need to focus on balance in your life. So Quan Yin has given us her message. She has said to us that the thing that's important for you, the message that you need to hear, right now, is the lack of balance in your life. So let's see, how do we fix this? Okay? How do we restore balance? How do we find sweetness? How do we become more compassionate, more kind, and more merciful with ourselves? You know what I always say? Can't make this stuff up. Feel, don't think. Look at this lion. Look there. There's his heart center, and everything is coming from his heart center. We have this huge big brain up there, but it's we mustn't come from the brain. We must come from the heart. Can you see the little heart that's in the middle there? The brain has become the heart. We mustn't allow the heart to become. We need to allow the heart to become the brain. Oh my gosh, I nearly got that wrong. So we need to feel and not think. We need to operate. And this is why it's Goddess Quan Yin, because she is all about the emotion. She is all about the compassion and the kindness. And this is something that we don't have. We have put ourselves, and this is where the imbalance comes from, because we have created ourselves in an environment where do, achieve, 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 accomplish, 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 becoming a bit of a tongue twister. We are putting so much pressure on ourselves and on everybody in our lives to be perfect, to achieve great things, to do great things. What we are not doing is enforcing balance. So we need to feel and not think. We need to operate from the heart and not from a practical, logical place. We need to be more mindful of doing what feels right and not necessarily what society deems as correct. I know that in itself is quite a contradiction, isn't it? Because we need jobs, we need income, we need stability. These are words that we've been throwing around for so long. These are words that have been drummed into us. Security, job security, number one, most important thing. And I get it. To a large extent, it is right. To a large extent, it is true. To a large extent, it is important. But not if it's taking your balance away, not if it's preventing you from living the life that you deserve. And I think this is I'm going to call it the trap that we have fallen into, is that our lives have become so conditioned into chasing the goal, chasing the dream, chasing the bigger house, the better car, the holiday home down the coast, or whatever it is, that we have forgotten compassion and kindness. We've forgotten those things. We keep saying, "Oh, we'll be kinder, we'll be more compassionate, we'll worry about balance when once I have the million in the bank, once I have achieved my goals, once only when I will rest, I will holiday, I will be kind and compassionate to myself only when I've achieved my goals." And friends, Quan Yin, Goddess Quan Yin, is saying to you that that is wrong. Without balance in your life, you're never going to achieve those things. Without balance in your life, you're never going to have, accomplish, feel, and know the things that are important. Compassion and kindness and divine mercy need a higher priority in our lives. We need to make it more relevant. We need to bring it into every single day. Into every single day. That's the thing that's most important. Is bring it into every single day. All right, let's have a look and see. If we get more into our feeling and less into our thinking, if we are able to restore balance into our life, what will this mean? What will this look like? What does Quan Yin want us to know? Why is it so important? How will we grow through this? Where will it lead us? What will it take? Where will it take us? So what does that look like? Oh, I am making a mess. All right, let's draw a card. Okay. So we have the card of work. And if you look at it here, we have a plant, we have a hand. What is the hand doing? It is offering energy, it is offering nourishment, it is offering care, it is offering kindness and compassion. Okay, because this is the thing at the moment. What I get from this work card is that we are so busy chasing goals and chasing dreams and chasing our ambitions and working towards all of these things that we have actually got past productivity and we're just in a manic state. This card from Quan Yin is telling us that if we can get more into our feelings and less into our head, if we can restore the missing balance in our lives, we will be more effective at getting our work done. Because, and this is such an important message, because at the moment you're probably thinking to yourself that if you feel more, think less, you're not going to be productive, which means you're never going to reach your goals, which means it's a pointless exercise, which means I'm not doing it. Hyperventilation. Okay. So, and I think that's what this card is saying, is that if we can shift ever so slightly our mindset, our understanding, the way that we operate into operating more with compassion, more with kindness to yourself and to others, suddenly the way that you work, the work that you do is going to become more productive. It's going to become more effective, and actually you'll get a lot more done. So right now, everybody's scrambling, everybody's trying so hard, but we're so exhausted, we're so frustrated, we're so irritated, but we're not actually getting anywhere. It's like running on a treadmill. And if you run on a treadmill, you can run for 6 hours, you're still in the same place. You haven't gone anywhere. And I think what Goddess Kuan Yin is saying to us, we'll never get ourselves into a place when we work towards balance. We're never going to get ourselves into a place where we don't work. We're never going to get ourselves into a place where we never have goals. We're always going to have goals. We're always going to have work. But what we need to do is we need to pay attention to our feelings, more attention to our feelings. We need to become more conscious of our feelings. We need to become more conscious of the human that we are, the emotional being that we are, with kindness, with compassion, and with divine mercy. And that is the way that we will be more effective in our work, more successful in our work. So it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. This is the message that she's giving us today. And the way that you work smarter is not by doing more, but it's actually by doing less. Have you heard the saying, less is more? Like, honestly, that's what I'm hearing from Spirit right now. Less is more. Working smarter is not about being lazy. It's not about doing less from a lazy point of view. It's about doing only what is absolutely necessary and leaving everything else alone. I think that is just such a fabulous message. I do hope that this message has connected with your heart. I do hope that this message is connected with your mind. And I do hope that this message helps you to just, from now on, to just think a little bit more before you rush into doing a thing, and ask yourself with absolute honesty, with absolute kindness and absolute compassion, is doing that thing right now bringing balance into your life? Is it that important? Or is spending a bit more time in our feelings and not in our intellect where we need to be in order to have the balance that we need in our lives? I really hope that this message is connected with you. I really hope this message is sent home. I am sending you so much love, so much kindness, and so much compassion. Take care of yourselves, friend. So hello and welcome to those of you who chose Archangel Jeremiel as the message, the angel who has a message for you right here and right now. I love this card. I mean, he is just so cool, isn't he? I mean, he's just so comfortable within himself. You know, his posture with the one hand in his pocket, you know, the slight little tilt to his head. He is very comfortable. He doesn't feel like he needs to do anything. He doesn't feel like he needs to prove himself. Like, I feel as if he's very content with who he is. And this is maybe something that you're looking for, something that maybe you're longing for in your own life. His key words is about, gosh, I can't even read there on the screen, visions, dreams, and reflections. So maybe you're at a stage in your life at the moment where you feel as if you're at a crossroads and you need to make a choice as to where you go next. Do you continue forward? Or do you turn in one of the opposite directions? Or do you even go backwards? You're at a point in your life now where you know you're at a crossroads and it's time to make important decisions. And maybe you've been toying with this. Maybe you've been anxious about this. Maybe it's been difficult for you for a while, which is why you've chosen this particular archangel to assist you. And as always, the angels in general are always ready to assist in any way that we need. So I do think I love the fact that on his t-shirt he has the eye, which means the all-seeing. Okay, he has the all-seeing eye. But what he's saying to you is that everything that you need to see is literally right in front of your eyes. It's you who choose not to see it. Why? Because we have a tendency, as human beings, we have a tendency to overcomplicate. I mean, it's like it's in our nature. It's in our DNA. We have this tendency to overcomplicate. We have this tendency to always do more than is absolutely necessary. And I do think that his message for you is, yes, you're at a crossroads. Yes, it's time to make a decision as to which direction you're moving in. It's time to make a decision as to what is going to come up next for you. But you don't need to seek answers under a rock and behind a bush and over there. Everything is right here in front of your face. Everything is right in front of you. You just need to acknowledge for yourself. So that's immediately the first thing that I'm getting from him, is the fact that, you know, it doesn't need to be any kind of hocus pocus, weird, whatever. You don't need to work so hard to uncover the truth. What you need to do is just open your eyes and to acknowledge what it is that is right in front of you. But let's have a look and see, what is the message that he wants to share with you today. What is it that you're dealing with, and how can he help you at this crossroads to make better choices for yourself, to get yourself to wherever it is that you need to be? Okay, so from this first deck, we have the card of insight. I love the peacock feather. Okay, I love the peacock feather because, so if you know anything about peacocks, where I live, there's quite a few peacocks around, not on my property, but you know, in and around there are definitely quite a few peacocks. And they can be quite interesting characters, that's for sure. The male peacocks are the ones that have these beautiful feathers, and the male peacocks are the ones that do the show, where they fan out their feathers like this, and they show off and they strut their stuff. I'm going to say that we're all male peacocks because that's what we do. We strut our stuff all the time, isn't it? We're always looking for validation. We're always looking for some kind of an acknowledgement. And we feel like we have to make ourselves bigger. We feel like we have to make ourselves better in order to be acknowledged and validated for who we truly are. You take the female peacock, on the other hand. She's not so pretty. She's not so pretty. She's actually, to be quite honest, she's quite dull. She really is. But yet, The male peacock wants to woo her. He wants to attract her, and he has to be better than all the other males in order to get what it is that he wants. So the fact that they've used the peacock feather with the keyword of insight goes to what I was saying, that the messages, you're at the crossroads, but everything that you need, the answers that you seek, which way to turn at the crossroads, all of this insight is right in front of you. So when you are around or in a place where there are peacocks, there is a chance that you may find a peacock feather, because they have a lot of them and the peacock feathers are fabulous, but they do occasionally let go of a feather. Sometimes the feather loses, drops so that they can, make more feathers. So that we can have these beautiful things, because their feathers are such beautiful artwork, absolutely exquisitely made. And it has this kind of eye look on it as well. So it's all about the insight that we can gain from the things that are right in front of us. So if you are at a place where there are peacocks, not only need to be looking around for the peacock on the ground, up on high buildings, wherever it is. Peacocks love to hide in trees. They love to hide on top of buildings, all of these things, but they also like to be on the ground. But when they drop their feathers, you're going to see it on the ground. So the reflections, I often say, a lot of people, when they are into this way of life, they'll often talk about getting feathers as signs from loved ones in spirit. Well, peacock feathers are really big signs from loved ones and spirits. And if you're at a point in your life at the moment where it's time to make a change, where it's time to you're at a crossroads and pick a direction, which way you're going to go, we do look for signs from our loved ones. We do look for signs from, from spirit, to help us, to guide us, to help us to make the better choice, because we as human beings are so afraid of making the wrong choice. We are so afraid of doing the wrong thing. We're so afraid of not fitting in with what society says, not conforming. So Archangel Jeremiel is saying to us that we need to be reflective, we need to have vision, we need to have dreams, but we mustn't make them so out of reach that we can never get there. We are at a crossroads. You are at a crossroads at the moment. The answers that you seek are literally right in front of you. But it's about acknowledging, seeing it for yourself, having the insight to see, oh, look, actually, there's an option. I'm going to go that option. Why? Because it feels right within my heart and soul. This is what we need to do. We need to start acknowledging what feels right for us. Again, the peacocks, the male peacocks, they don't question, or they don't go, well, I don't know if she's going to like me, so therefore I'm not even going to bother. They see a female, they're going to flaunt it. Okay, they're going to show their spread, they're going to put it out there. We, on the other hand, human beings, we have this tendency to overanalyze. We do the risk analysis, and only if it comes out with the potential maybe that it'll happen, only then do we actually put the effort in. And I think what Archangel Jeremiel is saying to you today is, yes, you're at a crossroads. It's time to make some big changes and some big decisions in your life. But don't look externally for validation or insight as to which way you should go. What you need to do is you need to look within yourself. You need to look within yourself and say, if I turn left at this crossroads, does what's down that road excite me? If I turn right, is what's down that road, does that excite me? And sometimes you may even need to venture down the road in order to explore it a little bit more before you make your choice and make your decision. So the message that Archangel Jeremiel has for you is to use the insight that is available to you, to use the insight that literally drops on the floor in front of you, the feathers. Use them to your advantage to help you make the decisions that you need to make. The best way to do this, I thought this is too funny. So I have shuffled and drawn your second card, and it says to you here, let this be your sign. This was the exact card that came through in one of the other messages. Like, honestly, I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. I shuffled. I know you didn't see, but trust me, I shuffled and I drew blindly and I got exactly the same card. And the message, and this was from, I think, the first reading I did. Okay, so that was the first reading I did, which was with Saint Brigid. But it makes sense that this is the card for you as well, because as we've already determined, you're at a crossroads. It's time for you to make some choices. It's time for you to make some decisions. It's time for you to become more in line with where you want to go and what you want to do with your life, and not necessarily being so overly concerned with everybody else. And this is your sign, friends. This is your sign to make the changes that need to be made. Now, if we look at this particular card, can you see there's a staircase? And the staircase is leading to magical places. The staircase is there The road is there. You're at the crossroads, right? Left and right, forward and back are all right there. You don't have to still lay the path. You don't still have to make the road. What you need to do is pick a direction and move in that direction. Okay, you need to have your visions, you need to have your dreams, but you also need to be a little bit reflective as to what is it that you want. Because what I see over and over and over again with clients when I do personal readings for people is people keep making the same choices, getting the same outcomes, and then going, but why is everything not changing? Because if you keep turning right, you're going to come right back at yourself again. If you keep going in circles, you're not going to go anywhere. You may be moving, but you're not actually going anywhere. And right now, this is your sign that maybe it's time to turn in a different direction. Maybe it's time to trust, to have that kind of faith in yourself, that the insight, the belief that you can do this, that you can go in a different direction, that changing left from right won't be disastrous. And actually, it may be quite fabulous. Because if you don't take a chance, and if you don't follow your dreams, if you don't have a vision of happiness, of joy, of abundance that is available to you, if you don't reflect on your journey, you're never going to get to where you want to be. You're just going to keep going around and around in circles. You know, if you've ever been on a long road trip, like almost as soon as we start a long road trip, whether it's by foot, whether it's by car, whether it's by donkey, whenever we start a long road trip, what do? We constantly, along the journey, we constantly are checking, are we on the right track? Are we on the right track? We're constantly looking for signposts that say, yes, this road is leading to this place, and that's the place that you want to go to. So consider this a signpost. Consider this a time where you've come to that crossroads. You need to check, is left where I want to go, is right where I want to go, and you may need to make the appropriate decisions. But know that the answers you seek are all right in front of you. The confirmation, the validation that you need, that you're looking for to tell you which way to go, the insight is right there in front of you. But you have to walk the stairs. You have to take the chance. You have to move in the direction that you want to go in. It's time. It is absolutely time. You know, Archangel Jeremiel, like I say, he's very comfortable. And you know, the fact that he's standing so comfortably as he is, but I do want to say to you, if you look at his face, he's got this kind of a no nonsense expression on his face, if I can put it that way. Okay, he's got this kind of look on his face as if to say, what are you going to do? Like, which way are you going? Because whichever way you go, you have to live with the consequences of that. You have to be happy with the choices that you make. So if you're sitting here right now and you're listening to me and you're thinking, you know, my life just seems to be a message on repeat, or a situation on repeat, or a cycle on repeat, it's because you keep turning in the same direction. You keep moving in the same direction. It's time right here and right now to make a change. So let's see, Archangel Jeremiel, if we turn in a different direction, if we choose a different path, where is this going to lead us? What can we look forward to? What else do we need to know about this direction that we're moving in, this change? How else can you offer us a little bit of courage and a little bit of just insight? Let's go back to that first card, that making this change is the right move that we need to be making right here and right now. I love this card. So it is the card of support, and it's guardian angel support. And if you have a look, so if we have a look, we've got this, I almost want to call this a person here. Okay, we have this hand, right? The hand is open and it's holding, and then we have a bigger person. So to me, I see this as a small person and a bigger person, but they've got the support. So this is what Archangel Jeremiel is saying to you, is that understand, you are not on this journey on your own. You are not in any way, shape, or form expected to walk this journey alone. You have the support of the angels. You have the support of Him. You have the support of your loved ones in spirit, your spirit guides, all of those people, all of those energies, those beings who are standing there to support you. You are never alone. But we feel confident, secure, comfortable in driving the same route over and over and over again. But if you're not getting anywhere through that, if you're not achieving your dreams, your goals, and your ambitions, it's time to be honest. It's time to be honest with yourself. It's time to recognize the insight that has been given to you today. It's time to recognize the truth that no matter how fabulous you are, maybe the girl peacock is just not going to choose you. Are you going to keep trying and trying and trying until one day she does? Or are you going to move on to the next girl peacock? Let this be your sign, friends. It's time to move on to the next girl peacock. Oh my gosh, I feel so silly saying that. But you understand, it's time to acknowledge and to recognize that the same thing over and over and over again is not getting you to your dreams, to your goals, and to your ambitions. Now is the time to be reflective. Now is the time to draw on the insight, oopsie, to draw on the insight that is available to you to help you get to where you need to go. This is your sign. This is your sign. And just again, confirmation that you will never be on this road alone. You will never be abandoned. You will never be forgotten. You will never be neglected. You are always supported by your guardian angels, by Archangel Jeremiel, and all the others that you have in spirit. They want you to be happy and successful. They want you to achieve your goals, your dreams, and everything. They want you to have that. But if you keep going the same familiar road over and over and over, if you keep fanning yourself in front of the same girl peacock who's in love with somebody else, you're never going to achieve the happiness, the joy, and the success that you need. So, friends, I hope that this message has inspired you to move in a different direction. I hope this message has inspired you to have the courage and the confidence to turn left instead of turning right all the time, to go forward instead of going backwards, to just do things differently, to have the foresight and the courage to realize that if you keep driving the same way, you're never going to end up at a different destination. I hope that this message inspires you to change, to know that you are loved and that you are eternally supported, and that actually you've got nothing to fear except going in the same direction. That is the mistake that you are making. It's time to move in a different direction. Be open to the experiences that are going to come your way, knowing that you are not alone, that you are loved, and that you are supported always. I'm sending you much love and many blessings from my heart and to yours. And until we connect again, take care.